Podcasting from the Sound of Freedom Studios, this is Local Politics. All right, so here we are back in the Sound of Freedom studio. We got Chase looking good. He hasn't aged at all, so all that testosterone and stuff you've been taking from our show. Today it's no secret. We're going to have Paul Najarian in here. He's in here, but before we get started, I think we need to say congratulations to Margaret Carlin, in Universal City, or SCUCISD. You notice Selma's not in their name. Maybe Margaret will change that. But congratulations, Margaret, on your hard-fought election. Of course, no surprise on most of these races. Paul Macaluso won. He did a lot of work, had a great mail campaign in some of that. Robert Westbrook got in there. Of course, he's vacated his spot on the SCUC board, so that leaves it for Margaret to step in there. And then there's going to be a runoff. Two lucky folks get to keep campaigning all the way. Election day is December 9th. Yay. Tiffany Gibson, Mike Armstrong. So, I could be wrong, and please comment or call me, or actually call Jason Setzer if you have any problems with this. But there will be I believe Tiffany last time she ran also had a runoff. So that's kind of interesting, but I could be wrong on that. If I am, Tiffany, I'm sorry. Good luck to Tiffany and Mike in their campaigns. We will not ask you to come back in here. I need a little break, and so does Chase. So we're going to get back to other cities. We can't spend all our time in Schertz and Cibolo and UCISD, the school district. So this episode is sponsored by Cartwheel Communications, web development, e-commerce, and SEO that leaves a lasting impression. With that, let's call this podcast to order. All right. Today we have Paul Najarian in the studio. Paul has lived in the great state of Texas since 2000 and Universal City since 2004. He has been a member of the Universal City Citizens Police Academy Alumni Association, UCCPAAA.
Say that 3 times fast.
Yeah, UCCP. Isn't that like the Russian? That's the CCP or what? Anyway.
So you're just thinking way outside the box.
Yeah, since 2013, and is serving on the board as treasurer and registrar. Paul has also served on the Planning and Zoning Commission for 2 years and secretary before running for city council in 2017, where he is currently serving his 3rd term. Paul has 2 beautiful daughters and has recently gotten remarried in September. Paul has a deep love for Universal City and enjoys keeping tabs on our Tri-County neighbors. Paul Najarian, welcome.
Thanks for having me.
Welcome, Paul.
Appreciate you.
Yeah, so, I kind of been bugging you to come in. We had Phil on.
Right.
And he was talking about ad valorem, and we'll get into some of those differences because there's some differences in Universal City. After, a lot of unity, a lot of, getting along and all that kind of stuff. People are coming in and asking questions and questioning the direction of the city, which I think is, it's good for healthy discussions.
Absolutely.
Obviously, staff doesn't always love it, but, well, we kind of went through something like that in Selma a while back, with Mayor Daley, and, we had Mayor Parma, and, so, people were happy with them, but there were some things they wanted different, and Mayor Daley said, I'm going to run, and, I need a packet and all that kind of stuff. So, we kind of changed the direction of the city a little bit like that. So we went through it. So
a mayor like Mayor Daley will do that sometimes.
Yeah. Well, he may change his own direction, so he's pretty good at that. I'm just kidding, Tom. But
we love you, Tom.
But first, congratulations on your wedding. Are you all settled in?
Getting there. Yeah, it's I do good. This is my 3rd and my last. I can't go through that again. I won't. But yeah, it's really good. I love being married, and I have a beautiful wife. So kids love her. So
yeah, thanks for the invite to your reception. By the way, I had a great time. I met all kinds of people from Universal City, people I've seen on social media,
right.
And people that I knew, like heard their name and that kind of stuff. And we had wonderful conversations about your wedding and I learned, always learn stuff about people's families and that kind of stuff. And I thought the property where you had the reception That guy's a very vocal voter. I know that because when I was
at the Irwins, yes,
the Urbans, Irwins. Okay, the Irwins. When I was campaigning for Monica, I remember I stopped by their house, because they vote, all that kind of stuff. But I thought it was really
they're
nice.
very active in the community.
Yeah, it was really nice. I thought your reception was really nice.
I appreciate that. And I've seen you at other venues too. So it was like,
well, you're one of
you
the
and I've
council
talked quite a
members-
bit.
Yeah, you're one of the council members that's like out a lot. I see you a lot. I see Monica Ryan
Absolutely.
out a lot at events. Of course, the mayors. You're going to see Tom and Mayor Daley and Mayor Gutierrez and Mayor Mark Allen and some of those. Bear comes around once in a while.
Right.
Of course, some school board members from Shirts. But you're one of the guys that's whenever I see it, it's like, cool, man. You're involved.
I do that not only because I enjoy it and get to meet a lot of nice people, but I think it's part of my education and part of what I bring to Universal City as a whole, with the Tri-City area, and just knowing the players and getting to know as you get to know people, you ask questions, they ask questions of you. You have several things in common between the cities, and working all together to just make better communities. So I love getting out. I see you at TML conferences, learn a lot out there, and NEP meetings, Northeast Partnership meetings, Tri-City. So yeah, love it all.
How are things going in Universal City?
Well, things are going pretty good as far as I'm concerned. As far as a lot of the people there, I mean, we're on an upward trajectory. We're looking at doing things for the aviation district. We've got our golf course going, which is number 3, by the way. When people talk about our golf course, a lot of people in UC don't even know that we actually own it. So, which is funny. That's, oh yeah, well, I've seen that golf course out there. So that's pretty nice. Yeah, but the city golf course. Oh, we own that? Yeah. Yes, we do.
Hey, so what do you mean number 3 in like fees you charge, number 3 in revenue, or number 3 in like quality of play?
Number 3 is, as far as rated, number 1 is TPC.
Of course, yeah, we do.
And number 2 is, I can't even remember the name of that one. I apologize. But
the Bandit maybe, or yeah, something. So many of the good ones closed too.
Yeah.
So
well, we're number 3,
Wow.
Rated number 3, and so I'm looking at that as bringing more business into the community, and maybe down the line work things out to where we can have some maybe some kind of pro ticket on there.
yeah,
It's not too far out of there. I mean, we spend money on there, and as you know, and I was going to say green fees alone will not keep that golf course going. So,
Yeah.
But it's something that has been controversial through the years, but it's also something like I have to bring this up, by the way. You saw my Yup T-shirt.
Yeah.
Gentleman that was
Yep.
on when Phil came out, he had that little note thing. I thought, if it's going to be Yup, I'm going to go ahead and own that.
There you go. You got your
not a
blue
problem.
on too. I like it.
I
Yeah.
did stick with the blue.
I
Yes.
love it. Good.
But anyway, making that work is real important to the future of Universal City too. As far as like I say, there was controversy at the front when it got started. Some people say, they didn't make a great deal on that, but it's since I've been here, it's been there, and it's like, hey, if we've got it, we need to make it work. So.
Well, and I think I did that show with Phil, and we're going to let you answer some questions about the ad valorem tax and what you think is. But before we get into that a little bit, I think that we did that show, and I was kind of like hey, that's let the people vote on it. I believe that if there was a vote, there's a good chance that people would want to keep it at the golf course. The money, the ad valorem tax going to the golf course. I just feel that that's what they would want. But at the same time, I took some heat from, Mallory and some other people. And there's a shout out to you, Mallory, over there at the event side of things.
Absolutely.
Because after that, I started working as a contractor for the Northeast Partnership, kind of helping, with their paperwork and keeping things going. And, I take phone calls and organize their monthly dinners and that kind of stuff. And so I'm over there all the time because I have to work with the event center planning team. And, I'm over there. And so I was setting up and they're like, man, you were kind of hard. It shouldn't be a wedding thing. And I'm like, man, I'm not going to go back and listen to it because if I said that, maybe I was wrong.
You really didn't say that, though.
Okay.
What you said is you didn't think that maybe the city shouldn't be in the business
right.
of running that. So in other words, if the city didn't own the golf course, maybe that's not a bad idea.
Well, if you did own it, you could always let the event wedding side of things be run by a private entity on that property that pays a leasing fee to the city or something. There was other options.
There's all kinds of options.
Yeah, but anyway, I was like, I'm really sorry. And then like, don't poison my plate. And they're like, no, Kevin. And, and I've also helped them book some events. So the people that work over there work their tails off.
We have an A1 staff over there. Absolutely.
You do. And I think that everybody works there should not poison my food, especially Mallory. So there you go. But I had to clear the air a little bit on that one because I'm not suggesting that when government gets into running businesses, it scares me a little. I have learned through my experience that government always isn't the most efficient at running things. It's not like a private business.
And I would agree with you on that.
Yeah. Even the best government and the best people and the
absolutely.
Best leaders, and it doesn't matter if it's a school district or...
I would agree with you, but also if looking at the history of the golf course, we've had private entities run that before, and it hasn't worked. And I think they don't have enough skin in the game.
Yeah.
And sometimes you especially on this particular occasion, you have to play the cards that you're dealt. Okay, like I said, should the golf course come to fruition instead of having land over there at in the nice shopping center?
The Forum.
In the Forum. There was some land trades there, and there was some
Costco,
land given.
Yeah. We got Costco.
Oh yeah. And but that was something that they decided on the golf course. I wasn't there, but now we have the golf course. We have a beautiful golf course. We do what we can do to maintain it. It just started coming into the black. So and people will say, well, okay, well now we don't really have to fund it. We're responsible as a city. We're responsible ultimately for the well-being of that golf course. So when other people are saying, let it sit and compete by itself, I don't have a problem with that, but right now is not that time to do it. A lot of people want to cut back. I'm the one who's saying, yep, step on the gas.
Yeah.
That was controversial with me. It's like, I believe we need to put more money into that golf course to bring it to what I think the crown jewel of Universal City it could be. As a matter of fact, there's a lot of construction that needs to be done as far as upgrading the kitchen. They serve a lot of food out of there, and they do an amazing job out of a real small facility that needs upgrading. We put some money now towards the expanding the parking lot, the flooring in there. But I'm saying not just that. You had said something on the other podcast real quickly about we have the weddings and the golfers get in the way. Well, that's not the way it.
Well, that's not what I said. Phil said that.
Well, Phil said that.
Okay, let's just be clear.
I'm
not in trouble, Mallory.
It was stated that, and we don't want that to happen. In other words, right now the way it is the golf course gets in its own way. In other words, you can either have this event or you can have this event, but you can't have two events at the same time because there's not the facilities for it. I would like to be able to do several events at a time and have that space open. I'm saying let's build not just another facility, a second facility on there. We have room to do it. There's $1 million view out there. I'm talking about making something at a destination spot and making it to where the golf green fees are not going to maintain just the golf course. But without the golf course, you don't have the weddings. Without the weddings, you don't have the extra. And with the food and the beverage, you don't have the extra money coming in. And being able to have a wedding and a golf event at the same time keeps that money coming in. That keeps the golf course in the green. And later on down the road, when it is self-sufficient that way, I'm all for, getting rid of what was brought up with the venue tax.
So if you want to add on, though, there's another option. You could have a bond election. Like I get it. We vote in school board members, right? So we got our favorite one in there, of course, Monica, and we got my neighbor Suzanne Canoyer in there, and we got Macias and everybody else. But the thing about it is, to me, is if they're like, well, we need a big football stadium, we're just going to use some money that we have for the football. It's like, no, they have bond elections. So if you want to add something or build a new facility, you go to the voters, let them decide if they want to pay 2 cents higher in property tax and let them vote on it. And that way the whole community has buy-in. That was what my argument is to Phil. Well, that's kind of what Phil's saying too. Let's have an election on it.
He was talking about a bond as well. When we did the bond for the streets, that wasn't very well accepted at first. But then all of a sudden, it's like, let's have. But it was okay to have a bond for the golf course, and I didn't get that very much.
But you got to put it to the voters, right? Because they're the people. I mean, it's of course it's what you want and the council wants, and they send you guys in there. But at the same time, if you want more money, you can always just go to the voters and say, hey, let's have an election on it.
Well, true. And the big thing was the venue tax was, do we want to take the venue tax away and put it into something else? We actually split it up this year.
Yeah, and you guys, I think you guys have a good plan for that now, and that's fine. But one of the things, if you wanted to do these additions and improvements and maybe add another facility, you could just have a bond election.
Yeah, that's my idea for the future of the golf course.
Yeah.
So that could be in the future as far as pushing that. My thing was with the venue tax, the way it was is taking that all away and just setting it on its own. Setting it up, which I thought was setting it up for failure. And in failure, it's kind of like you can look back sometimes and go, see, I knew that was going to happen, but it's my responsibility to the city to make sure that doesn't happen.
Well, and this is why, this is, getting into a larger discussion. This is why we have the Electoral College and all that kind of stuff. So it's not just, complete mob rule and, you end up, with a pure democracy. It's a different type of stuff. So we have representative government, and in the universal city, they elect people like you to make decisions. So that's the other side of the argument.
And let me finish. That's what I was getting to. As far as that venue tax was concerned, moving it around or changing it, that's something that we were elected to do, to make those decisions, put our big boy pants, big girl pants on and make those type of decisions. And we were able to split off money from it. And later on, I'm thinking with the path it's taking, we can take it out altogether. But again, I don't want it out there set up for failure, because if it does, then what happens to the rest? It's a rest of Universal City. You've got properties along that area. That all of a sudden property values start going down.
A nature park.
Huh?
Nature park.
A nature park. Yeah,
that'd be beautiful.
That'll pay for it.
Put trails in there.
That'll bring in a lot of money, won't it?
Another disc golf course. So, so I think that
one way or another, if we didn't have money coming in on that, it's that is our space there. That is, we would have to maintain it.
Yeah.
So now you just have money going out.
With the venue tax, we got the golf course. Okay, let's talk budget.
I was going to just to add in that venue tax this year. We did 550. We broke off some of the venue tax, put 550,000 to the golf course, 550 to the parks, and 300 in administration. So we were able to fund a lot of things with the police officers and the fire department and on their wish list. We'd already had everything funded, but to be able to add to their wish list, we were able to do that as well. So,
oh, cool. Okay, so you guys moved it around a little bit. Yeah. That's been settled. No discussion on that until next budget cycle.
Until next budget cycle.
All right, cool. All right, fair enough. So we settled the budget, tax, and the golf course. Let's talk budget, overall budget. How did things go? Do you have any major projects planned this year, or what happened in your budget with your budget process?
Well, with the budget, actually, we went down from 0.54 to 0.51. The
rate went down.
The rate went down, yeah.
I think it was an effective increase, right around 5%, which is less than some of the neighboring cities.
Right.
I'll be fair with everybody. That's less than the neighboring cities and inflation, which is good.
Yeah, it is good, and I know we have more income coming in because we've got more sales tax coming in, and would like to keep it that way. And I always bring up the fact that we are landlocked, so and we're almost at build out now, so we really got to take a look at the future and as far as what we've plan to accomplish in the next You remember Ken Taylor when?
Yeah.
I started before Kim took over for a city manager. I started with Ken Taylor.
Yeah, of course.
A quick story. Ken didn't like me too much. I was new, and I was like, I'm going to do this and I'm going to do that and everything. And he'd look at me and he brought a little trophy out. You know what that is? I said, what is that? And he's, that's 30 years of doing a good job. And I'm like, yeah, I kind of overstepped my bounds here a little bit and getting a little cocky and everything. But he instilled, we had the 5-year plan. We got a 5-year plan for the city. He instilled that, hey, we got to start looking 10, 20, 30 years down the road. When, we're not around or you're not able to be there. And that has been my thought process for the city at the whole time. And when you have a vision of what it should be in the future, when things start getting messed with that, you try to keep the lines, straight. So
yeah, of course, you have a plan and then you execute it, right?
Exactly.
Yeah. So but for this year's budget, so are anything new planned? Are you buying some new cop cars? Are we going to see Maserati police officers driving around?
That would be nice, wouldn't it?
Or,
no, there's some police vehicles planned. We're looking at getting. You have to go way ahead, but some new fire equipment, a new fire truck that you have to order now because those are like production and everything else. You're looking like 5 years down the road, so you actually have to start putting it out now and making sure that is paid for by the time they're ready to execute. So it's we worked on that. We've
got to get the decals on those fire trucks.
Got to get
too.
the decals.
Good. One of our fire trucks we have on the back I-35 pit crew. It says, because we're always, that's all of our calls. We have fires in Selma, just but all of our calls are running traffic on 35. So except for you guys, now that I think about it, I got a bone to pick with Universal City. So there's a little section that's actually kind of Universal City.
Okay.
Kind of. And that is a section of I-35 right in front of the hotel. I never thought about that.
Absolutely.
Any wrecks in that little section, you guys should be handling those calls.
Actually, but that's true. But we also have a partnership with the other
MOU,
cities. And we help them; they help us, and we're also looking at. So we do have property in Guadalupe now, so. I
was going to ask. I am going to ask you about that. So this budget, are you guys? Is it true you're building a road through Cibolo Creek?
It is. It is an ingress, egress. Yes, there's going to be. It's going to be for emergencies only. That was a real big stickler because it was kind of like if we're just going to build a road there and people are going to start using 1518 to go back and forth through Kitty Hawk and through the neighborhood and cut through. Absolutely not. The citizens wouldn't go for that, and that's a mess.
It's good for your businesses though. If people are going because they're driving by Four Kings in those areas, and you do have a Chick-fil-A and a McDonald's and a little brewery and the Pond Pub, and
that's true. But you got to weigh that out with the citizens in the neighborhood and everything else. So, basically, that didn't fly with the voters. I heard a lot of things saying we don't want this, in the neighborhood, but we do have to have an egress on that side, so it's going to be emergencies, and it will be for emergency use only. But
is it a straight shot right down the hill, cross Cibolo Creek, and pop up on the other side, or?
I don't know all the construction, but that's basically it.
When are they breaking ground on all that? But this year?
I believe it would be this year, if not next year. It's going to be done pretty quick.
Wow.
So.
Is it that one right by Mask Road?
Well, it's off.
Maskey Road. It's by Wayman Farm.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because I was going through Cibolo Creek and I seen some like construction-y looking stuff.
What were you doing in Cibolo Creek?
I live right by Cibolo Creek.
So do you?
Walk around there all the time.
You go to Cibolo Creek.
Oh, there's some areas that are private. I've had people come out and yell at me because I used to walk from, I live by Rudy's. I used to walk all the way to Pickerel Park and back, and there's caves and all that stuff down there.
Yeah.
And you walk along the disc golf course. Yeah, and there's some areas that are. But I know Universal City's looking to extend the Evans Road Trail, hopefully, from where Selma finished it at the golf course driving range, behind that going up to the disc golf course. Hopefully, if you can get it there, we can get all the way to Shirts.
Yeah, that would be nice. I've heard a little bit about that
Yeah,
and
some
talked
rumors.
a little bit about, but nothing that's ever been put into action. But when that comes up, I want to look at it more if it comes up.
Is it true you're going to name that road through Cibolo Creek Bear Goolsby Way? I had to ask.
I'm sure he would be very happy if we did that.
Yeah.
I would have it Najarian way, but nobody can spell that. So,
Well, nobody has to know where it is or how to spell it except for the police department.
That's true.
And so how are they going to do that? The cops are going to be, there's going to be a 5-alarm emergency or whatever, and they're going to stop, and they're going to get out of the car and unlock the gate and open it and latch it and drive through and then go back and shut it.
I'm sure it's going to be electric. They're not going to have a big padlock on there or anything like that. So, yeah, that would be kind of ridiculous.
All right. But is there plans to build more over there off of in Guadalupe County?
Through that area, there is a room for expansion there. So we haven't talked. There's about 78 homes out there in the new area, and room to expand out more down the road. We have been looked at plans as far as putting a little strip center there. We've been some people have brought us ideas about that, and which
that's a smart move.
I think so.
It really is. Yeah, you get a little retail sales out of it to pay for all the pain in the butt of having houses. I mean, nothing against houses, but they're not. They're a drain on your budget.
Yeah.
For sure. So,
do you know that infrastructure? I mean, it's all new. It doesn't. It's not a drain now, but down the road.
So you're in 2 public school districts, right? You got SCUC and Judson, right? You're in 2 counties now. So you work with 2 county commissioners.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you got Tommy Calvert, of course.
Right.
Do you know who your Guadalupe County commissioner is? You mentioned him earlier. I'll give you a clue. The former mayor of Schurz.
Michael
Carpenter. Mike Carpenter. Yeah.
Absolutely.
So,
just saw him the other night. Well, when we were out.
You need to ask him to get 1518 taken care of and get a hold of TxDOT. So we need to get that road done at some point.
Yes, we do.
So, but that is nice. You can live on the other side of the creek.
And it was nice because I met Michael when he was mayor and then when he got his new position. So, and was able to say hi. I don't see him that much anymore. Really nice guy, and I think he's not only a good but will be a fantastic commissioner still.
Yeah, he's been killing it, but you need to give him a hard time.
I can do that.
I give him a hard time all the time. Why not? He's doing really good as a county commissioner, and so I talk to him often. So he's doing great. So.
And I met the county judge,
Kyle Kutcher, your county judge. So he serves on the MPO with me. Yeah, he should be governor. I love Kyle.
He's great. I
awesome.
only met him for a few minutes, but just was able to have a nice little conversation with him. That was a nice guy.
Let's do the lightning round. You got some lightning round music over there for us, or or. All right, lightning round. All right, this has nothing to do with politics. This is supposed to be like a little break here. I was talking to a friend of mine, and they're like, "Is every episode like an hour?" And I'm like, "Well, some are an hour and 20, and some might be 30 minutes, but we're always going to have a lightning round." So instead of getting the cards out and letting you pick the color and shuffling and all that kind of stuff, which I love on the business podcast, which, by the way, if you haven't seen it, you must watch or listen to the Mark Roberts podcast on the business show. It's a 2-part series. Everything you want to know about Mark Roberts, and it's fantastic. All right, now we're going to go on to our executive session, the lightning round. I call it the executive session. What is something most people don't know about you?
I love I love music, so I play the drums. I've got like 3 different drum sets, and I'm just like in the pocket player, as they say, and love to hook that up and an electric set. So I just pop it on and get into my own world for a while. And I also
Whoa. Also, you're a drummer?
Yeah.
That's big news, man.
I'm not bad, actually.
That explains everything I needed to know about you, though. I mean, I play a little guitar, so.
Well, we'll have to get together. Actually,
I was always too loud. I don't play with drummers anymore. No, I'm just kidding.
I don't play with drummers anymore.
I'm just kidding.
Maybe that's why you can't keep the beat there.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, my timing's off for sure, yeah.
But yeah, I was thinking here that maybe get a little thing together, like some local people who want to play and just mess around, and I was thinking, hey, get a little group together and call it Gateway.
Yeah.
What the heck?
Yeah. Well, the Selma
Scratching
5.
itch. Yeah, Selma 5.
Hey, we should. You should get an open mic night started at Universal City Event Center.
That would be pretty good.
Get a lot of money for the bar. Just saying. Well, actually, musicians are broke. I'm broke, so that explains everything. So, what do you like to play? Like who's your favorite drummer? Well, give me a couple. I mean, is it all the normals? The Pert and
Yeah, Neil Peart,
Mitch
Buddy
Mitchell
Rich.
and Buddy Rich. Okay.
Yeah. Some of the
Jimmy
Brubaker.
Jimmy Boom Boom Keltner. You know, he's played
Boom
with.
Boom
That's what they
Keltner.
call him, Jimmy Boom.
Yeah,
Boom.
Phil Collins. I love Phil Collins.
Oh, do you?
I mean, he's known for his voice, but he's a fantastic drummer.
Yeah,
So,
Ringo.
Ringo's
Yeah, he's interesting.
I was never a real Beatles fan growing up, but it was like
Oh, are you more of a Stones guy?
I'm a Stones guy.
There we go. That's a bonus executive session question. All right. Next
So
question. Go ahead.
How many drummers does it take to screw in a light bulb?
I don't know.
10.
Why?
1 to screw in the light bulb, and 9 more to tell you how Neil Peart could have done it better. And it's Peart, I guess.
Yeah, Peart. Yeah, Neil Peart. Yeah. Yeah, drummers are, such a big part of music. And, I listen to a lot of music with Amy when we drive around and stuff. And I was the other day, we were listening to some Fleetwood Mac.
Mm-hmm.
And, Mick Fleetwood with the beat, it's just, that band was so good because the other musicians knew when to back off when he was going. And then they knew when to back off when Lindsey Buckingham was going. And then they learned how. And I was just telling her, sometimes it's not the notes you play, it's the space in between them. And that's what made Mick Fleetwood amazing. And, I love drummers, and so, and I think it's such an important part of music. I mean, Keith Moon sometimes, let's, drink 10 shots of Fireball and listen to some Keith Moon.
Right.
He was a madman. So there's a lot of great ones. And,
when, I let my age be known when I remember, I don't know if you're probably not that old, but I remember, Fleetwood Mac before the women.
Oh, yeah. No,
Journey,
that was way before. I'm
Journey
38.
before Neil Sean.
I'm 38, folks. All right.
And they were a totally different type of band back then. So
Yeah, no, it was great. All right, next question.
Yeah.
What is your favorite sports team?
Oh, I'm going to get ridiculed for this one.
That's why I'm asking.
I grew up a Raiders fan. I grew up in Lake Tahoe. I've gone to Oakland a lot. So I was Candlestick Park back then. So A's. Now they're in Vegas. And
how far is it from Lake Tahoe to Oakland?
It's about 3 hours.
Not too bad.
Not too bad. No. If you drive like I do, but
it's closer than going from here to a Cowboys game. Takes you about 3.5, 4 hours, and then getting home, it's about 10.
Yeah, it's been such a long time. We used to try to do the road trip where you could hit the microbreweries on the way, and if you get right at the right time of year, you can hit a hockey game, a basketball game, and a football game. So
really,
yeah, that didn't happen very rarely. But
and what about college?
Well, my alma mater, which is the University of Reno.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Which, not this year. I have to turn them off every time. It's pretty bad. But
yeah, I'm a Lions, Tigers, and Hail to the Victors, Michigan fan.
I like Michigan. I like Michigan a lot. Yeah.
Me too. That's why I got all these cameras. It's a joke. There you go. All right. Yeah, there's a big scandal. They've been, recording other sidelines to get their signals, and it's all in the news. And
Interesting.
Of course, nobody ever does that.
Is that
has done that, right?
That's illegal or what? It's not allowed?
Yeah, it shouldn't be because everybody in the stadium has a phone and can film whatever they want. It's a stupid rule, but it's a rule. So,
or you could just watch them with your eyes. I mean,
so Harbaugh had to sit out 3 big games, one against Penn State, one against Ohio State, and they won them both. They kicked the Buckeyes' ass, and I might lose me some listeners, but I'm proud of saying it. It's all right. Hey, Paul,
Yes,
what do you do for fun?
Well, besides playing the drums, I like to just travel around a lot locally. Go to. I like to go with my wife. We go to flea markets and different places. Go to Dripping Springs and have a little vodka now and then, and just basically tool around. Plus, I do have, I have a Harley. I'm not a biker per se, but I love to ride. I've got an old Harley that spends more time in the garage right now than it does.
What kind of bike do you have?
It's a 1990 FXRS. It's custom.
It's an FXRS.
Yes,
Oh my
absolutely.
gosh.
Sounds like that. It's the old Harley.
Got the Evo motor.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Man, man, all of my friends want FXRs. So I've got a Road Glide, and all my friends have early model Dynas, and they're all stunners, but we all want an FXR.
That's what
so hard to come by.
1350, but it's got major gabuzos.
That's
it's
awesome.
cherry red with black ghost skulls on it.
Oh, nice, very cool.
Yeah, there's no secret around here, Jason and like father like son here, they ride, I think Jason's going for like a world record this summer.
I think he is actually.
How many miles do you think he's got this year?
Oh, this year.
How many miles does he have on his new bike? What did he just get?
Oh, I'm not too sure. He just got the new CVOs that just came out. He just got one of those. I don't know how many miles he has now, but the day before yesterday did 1,000 miles in a day.
I've done the Sisters before. That was awesome.
Yeah. The Sisters is a blast.
Yeah.
I've been by there a few times. I've known like a handful of guys that have wrecked out in the Sisters. It's been getting kind of dangerous out there because of the gravel and the roads and the wildlife, of course.
Yeah.
But
what Sisters? What are the Sisters?
The Three Twisted Sisters out in Lakey, Texas.
What is it?
It's just an awesome ride. It's twists and twirls. I grew up in Lake Tahoe, so anything with a hairpin turn on it is just all right with me.
Yeah.
And that's basically what it is. It's just beautiful country and a lot of hairpin turns and then nice straight aheads where you can, of course, not break any speed limit rules, but you can. Right. You can go pretty fast.
Yeah.
What are the? I mean, how long is it? You can go out there in a day.
Oh God, you can travel. Shoot all day long on that, depending on what route you take. There's a couple different routes, but you can take a day ride, or you can go probably camp out.
Yeah, I mean, it just depends on how slow you want to ride or how long you want to ride. I mean, like, so Jason and I will go out there. It's like 2.5 hours to get out there, and then spend all day out there, hit Lukenbach on the way back. But that's if you're just trying to like really crush miles. I've done 700 miles in a day, just going through there and back.
You're a better man than I.
Well, we're on touring bikes. It's a little easier.
My butt tells me no way you're doing that anymore. But people have asked me, it's like, it's spending some time in the shop. So, it's hard to find people to work on it. Plus, I just got married, so my money's been going other places. But they say, well, why don't you get something more dependable and instead of buying a Harley? And I'm like, number one, no. Yeah. Number two, no. Yeah. Number three, I have like thousands of dollars worth of Harley gear. What the heck am I supposed to do with that? Once I get on a Honda or something. No offense to Honda riders, but
and none of the Hondas go rum. Oh.
But they all go for a long time without having to get worked on.
That's not true.
It's not? Okay. I don't know anything about bikes.
Well, that one hurts, but yeah,
they just have different problems. But Harleys still have problems.
Yeah,
I had a CR80.
Oh, nice.
Did you?
Yeah. When I was younger. So yeah. Crashed it. Those trees come really fast,
and that, like, they're right when they say it's not prepared for if you fall.
It's when.
Yeah, it's going to happen. And the last time that happened to me, or so, knock on wood, the only time that happened to me is putting down the kickstand. It didn't quite go down. Yeah, that was an awakening. But anyway,
yeah, happens to the best of us.
Once you start going, you can't stop, right?
No, it's for me, it's therapy. When you just get on, I had a hard day, get on the bike, and it doesn't matter where you go. You just cruise for a while, get on, and you come back, and it's just like zen.
Yeah.
Or when I'm playing drums, my watch actually goes off every once in a while. It says, "Are you going out for a record indoor or outdoor run?" I'm like, "Oh, outdoor, obviously."
Yeah. I love it.
So, real quick, you got the FXRS with the Evo motor. Does it leak?
I would like to say no, but yes, it does. But it's a 90.
Leak. Yeah.
It's a 90.
Well, just that motor.
You put up with stuff. It's if you leave it for too long and you start it up, it's gonna
drip a little.
It's gonna run a lot.
Oh yeah. So, man, yeah, all the Evos leak, and I hear all the time, like the best FXR is one that swapped with the twin cam, the new motors, but I guess not anymore. I get the M8s now, but it's the Evos just sound so cool. Those motors just sound so much like the real Harleys. So
yeah, you got that idle that it sounds like it's going to die any time. It's like, oh, I love it.
That's good stuff.
All right.
They're so weird.
Yeah.
Back to
I'm gonna
politics.
have to add that in as one specific question. Do you ride a Harley? Because everybody that comes in here, I mean,
Hey,
we
Chase,
can't.
thanks for geeking out with me a little bit. Appreciate it.
Anytime.
It's pretty funny because we had Paul Kenzier in here, and of course he told his story about a Sportster, and
Yeah, he's got a little Sportster 883, I think.
yeah, and how it's kind of awkward carrying a passenger. That story still it's so stupid when I watched it. It wasn't very funny, but it's fucking hilarious. So, all right, so you ride your Harley and you play drums. All right, last question of the executive session. So some of this is an executive session. So, have you ever been to the Pond Pub?
I knew you were going to bring that up, and I have not been there yet, but I have to go. As a matter of fact, maybe you and I should just go together. I know I know someone who bartends down there, and I keep telling her I'm going to get up there, but I don't quite go to bars like I used to. So, but
I went with
I want to
Amy.
get out there.
So what we did is
I want to go. I definitely want to go. So.
this is very UC related. So there's that Italian restaurant, Bella Sera, right?
Fantastic
so
restaurant.
One of the parents of a kid that goes to Olympia, or the parents own that place. And Amy sees them all the time because she's in the car rider line, right? These people come and, oh, hi, Miss Haddis, and all this stuff. And so she's like, we got to go over there. Everybody's talking about it. So we went over there and we sat down, and they don't have their liquor or wine or beer yet when we went. So we brought a bottle of wine, right? Had a glass of wine, and we were just kind of hanging out, and food was amazing.
Yeah, absolutely.
And you get a lot of it. It's right there behind Gaddy's, in case you're listening. Anybody, it's on Alpha Pat Booker, kind of behind the Gaddy's there, right?
Yes. And the owners are extremely nice and
yeah, and it's they're very friendly, and of course the student was there helping them work or whatever. They're not going to pay for a babysitter. You're running a business, right?
Right.
And so, but the place is just fantastic, and we left, and Amy said, I said, Phil Vaughn on the show was talking about the UC pub crawl.
Yeah.
I'm like, do you want to do it? And she's like, we don't have a driver. And I said, well, okay, that's fine. And I agree, that's a smart decision and the right decision. I said, but do you want to do it? And she said, well, sometime if we get a driver. And I said, okay, well, can we maybe just do one tonight? And she goes, which one do you want to do? And I said, the Pond Pub.
The Pond Pub.
I said, the Pond Pub. And so...
and that's PAWN, not POND.
Yeah, Pond. Yeah. And so I called... All right, no, I called Phil. And said, listen, you talked about the UC pub crawl. We're going to one bar, and I picked the Pond Pub. He's like, you picked one of the best. And he said, but you need to stop and get some quarters. So we're driving down Pat Booker, and near where Olympia and Pat Booker come together, there's a laundromat.
Yeah.
I'm saying, which one? I feel like I could be running for city council. I'm going to all these businesses, right? And I go in, and I'm like,
you don't have that kind of time.
I need here's $10. I need some quarters, because there's one of those games where I can't remember the name of it, but you put the quarters in it and then it spits quarters out. I don't know if it's that legal, but anyway, they have one of those games in there, like, at the casinos or whatever. You drop the quarters in and then it shoots the quarters off. And she kind of looks at me and she's like, you're not going to do any laundry? I said, no, I'm going down the oh, you're going to the Pond Pub. And so, so
she probably looked at it and said, you need to buy more quarters.
Well, yeah, that's probably what she said. I felt like, $10 in quarters, it's a roll, but they have them in a bag, so it looks like a lot. And I came out and I handed them to my wife, and she goes, where's my change? Because she's the one that had cash on her. I used it all. But we went in there, and a couple of her parents worked there, bartend there, a blonde, I can't think of her, Tracy maybe or something. But we had a great time. And met some good people there that live in Universal City. So
I have to go there. Well, maybe
sometime.
You, Phil, and I should go.
Yeah.
You're invited too.
Yeah, for sure.
Bring your Honda. Pretty young.
Bring
your Honda. You are old enough, aren't you?
Yeah, he's going to bring his Honda.
There you go.
Hey, you can't do burnouts. You can't do burnouts in UC, though.
No. Well, I don't know about the word can't.
So that's the end of the executive session. Thank you. All right, back to the show. All right, back to the show. Let's talk a little bit about the future now.
Sure.
So what are you like? So is there an election coming up in UC in May?
There is.
Okay, and who's running?
That would be.
So it's going to be. It'll be you.
It would, if I run. Yeah.
You told me you're gonna run.
Yeah, I'm going to run. I wasn't going to.
Yeah.
I sold all my signs and I got rid of all my signs and everything else. I wasn't going to run. It's my daughter's last year in high school, and she's going to be taking off. And I got married and wanted to do a few things, and it's like my wife says, "What do you mean you're not going to run again?"
It's the only reason she married you, to get out of speeding tickets.
Yeah, get it. Right. No, I ran on making more money for Universal City, so I always tell people, so if you mention me to the cops, they're just going to double charge you. So
Yeah. No, so you're considering, and you'll most likely are planning on filing.
Yeah, I'm gonna file.
So it'd be your seat, Mayor Williams' seat.
Mayor Williams, and you're looking at that would be
Buck.
Buck, but Buck told us the other night that they need him. He's part of the military. They need him, I believe, in Germany, and he won't be running.
Oh, he'll be dearly missed.
Yeah.
No, I'm just kidding. I like him.
I like him.
Good
No,
guy, yeah.
I know you're not kidding. He will be dearly missed, actually.
Yeah, he will.
Yeah.
So
we don't
there's
always
gonna
see
be
eye to eye on things, but
Yeah.
none of us do. But
So there'll be a vacant seat.
I appreciate his eye on things.
Yeah. And appreciate his service and all that kind of stuff. So there's going to be a vacant seat.
Yeah. So
you and Mayor Williams.
there'll be one vacancy, which would be Buck, me, and then that would be I think Phil would be up again. Yeah.
Oh, and Phil
Yeah.
and Mayor.
Yeah.
4 people.
4 people.
But the mayor's a separate race.
Correct.
But then it's like 50 people. It's the top 3 get the spot.
Correct.
You guys aren't doing runoffs.
No.
I love it. You don't have to do runoffs.
Yeah, a lot of people don't get that. There's a lot of non-votes there where they don't understand that you can pick 3. You need to pick 3. So there's out of the amount of people that vote, which unfortunately is not a whole lot. I mean, Universal City, 21,000, and you get maybe 2,000 show up. It's kind of sad, but
So how do people get a hold of you? Like, what do you? I mean, you got Facebook mostly,
and my council,
and your emails on the
council6 at uctx.gov.
All right, perfect. Yeah, we'll put that in the comments below too, so people can spam the heck out of you.
Yeah, absolutely.
Do you get a lot? Do you get a lot of people that are like upset with things, or is it mostly it's pretty quiet? Because Kim runs a pretty tight ship, and she's got the EDC with Kristen. Man, I'm a big fan of hers, and
you know as well as I do. You've got a small amount, like same 10 people that'll show up to council meetings all the time. And sometimes it's like, oh, we love Universal City. Universal City's are great. Our city's great about this, but everybody that runs it sucks. And it's like, how can you have that? And that kind of gets me. It's when, if things aren't going wrong or people agree with you, they don't show up in droves to say, good job. We're you guys are doing a great job. Yeah. They don't show up. But if you bring up something that's going to ruffle feathers around there, they'll show up. So, but
do you ever put stuff on the agenda just to get the folks to come out? Just kidding. Just kidding.
I should.
Yeah, no. You should pick something random. No, I think those concerned citizens, they get together on Sundays or whatever, and I think. I've known Phil for a long time, and I think he's got a lot of good ideas for the direction of the city. And I think the way he's handling it on the dais is the way it should be handled. Like, I'm just trying to get you guys to come down another penny. Please consider it. I mean, right. that tone. I don't think there's any friction in that. You may not like it. It may not make you feel good, but he's advocating for what he believes. And that's what the dais is for. Right. I put something on the Judson. I have a Judson Community Chat football Facebook page, and there was this issue. They're short 60-some teachers for special ed, and it's becoming a crisis, right? And Monica Ryan suggested, let's not increase the salaries for that position because that would take we should need to do that during the budget process, right? However, we can pay a $2,000 upfront bonus for any teacher that signs up and stays till the end of the year because it fixes our problem at least till we get to the budget cycle. Right? If they want to quit before that, we get our money back. Or
great idea.
Right? Great idea. And it's not going to cost a whole lot, $100,000. And not only that, and then one of the school board members said, "Well, this would be a budget amendment." It's not, because right now you have 60 some people, and Monica pointed this out. Right now we have 60 people that aren't working. Right? Each of those people gets, $5,000, $4,000. We have to pay $5,000 with insurance, $5,000 a month, let's say.
Right.
Right? I'm not just asking to hire people for an extra $2,000. Like, if you think my idea is that good and we have this much of a shortage, why aren't we doing it? It just didn't make any sense. And, but it got shot down. Over and over and over, she keeps presenting ideas like this, and they just keep getting, some things gets passed, but it's I lost my train of thought on that one, but it's the same type of thing like Phil. She kind of feels like she's on an island a little bit.
Right.
She makes a compelling argument. The other part, that's what I was going to say. The trustees are like, we have to trust staff. We have to do what staff want, and now. No, you hire staff, of course, to do your job, but you're there to make decisions to help them. And if you have a situation where one department's missing 30 teachers and 30 paras, 60 teachers essentially, to help special ed, and it's a crisis because people are leaving. We've had ads on Judson. Monica brought it up. They had ads on Judson's Facebook page. They've only hired 2 in 90 days. Telling me that whatever they're doing isn't working. If staff doesn't make an adjustment, the school board's job is to step in and make that adjustment. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
But there's people on the dais with her that think, well, we hire the superintendent, we have to trust what they're doing. And Monica's like, well, what they're doing isn't working.
Well, let me comment about the Universal City side. When, like when you see the yup here.
Yup. I don't get the nope in the yup.
Well, because he came on, a lot of people, before they came on, there wasn't a lot of dissension about where we're going. We might change things. Something might come up and we might say, that's a great idea, but let's change this or that and then make it happen. So there's really no reason. I love the Universal City staff. And as far as I'm concerned, I'm conservative, but at the same time, I'm somebody, I like to think, I look at both sides of the story. I'm a Fox guy, but at the same time, I listen to NPR. My mom always said, why do you do that? It's like, you can't. And I said, I get stuff from here that I don't get from here. And, you raised an intelligent, not young anymore, but you raised an intelligent boy that in order for me to make a decision, I have to hear both sides.
I'm this 100% the same way.
And if something tells me this is right, and I was looking, I can change my mind. I can say, you know what? I didn't see that side of it. I do now. When you and I had a discussion about the school vouchers. Yeah. There's some things on both sides, and there was some things brought up about that I looked at. I said, you know what? I did not see that part of it, and it makes a lot of sense. Yeah. But anyway, so I like Phil, and he brings up a lot of good points. But at the same time, Phil has not been somebody who doesn't admit to the fact that he's not really into change. He doesn't really, and I'm somebody who's trying to embrace change. Like I said, I'm trying to think 10, 20, 30 years down the road when we have an idea and we have a path that we're going. The only thing inevitable is change. It's either going to be good or it's going to be crap.
Yeah.
So let's try to find a way to make it together. And
real quick, I think he it's either going to be fine or it's going to be crap. I think he's really interested in it being cheap.
Yes.
Well,
sometimes he can bring
taxes are pricing people. Well, I'll let you finish your point, but go ahead.
Well, I was going to say sometimes, you can spend 5 cents a day, save 5 cents today to spend 10 cents tomorrow. The way inflation has been and everything costs more. It's like, why after, it costs us more to do business. We're a city and a city is a business and it costs more to do business. But at the same time, we're talking about the staff. Staff I look at staff like a tool. I have a relationship with a lot of people there. As far as I know them, I get to know them, and I trust the staff until the time that they give me a reason not to trust them. And we talk. It's not like I do everything verbatim and just say yes to everything. But at the same time, it's like when Phil and our finance officer get into it on the dais, and Phil saying, "Well, if you do this, this will happen." And she's like, well, no, sir, that's not the way it works. He's like, well, yes, it is. And I'm going back and forth. I always tell him I'm the 101 guy. I understand it, but I don't, keep all those numbers and that. I was never really good at that, but I know where the money's going. But they'll go back and forth. And I'm always thinking to myself, we have a AA plus rating as a city finance. We have emergency fund that if we didn't take $1 for a year, we could sustain ourselves. We have creditors that say you you could have a AAA, but because you're landlocked, you're probably never going to get there. So we when we borrow money, we borrow it cheap because they always talk about how well financially we run the city. So when it's coming for a tit-to-tat to both of them, Phil's very good at what he does, but he doesn't run cities. The person we hired to do the financials to run the city, if it comes between the two, and I'm wondering, well, who's right and who's wrong here, I'm going to trust her until there's a time that it comes up that I'm getting bad information or we're getting bad information and can't seem to do that. And sometimes that just, to me,
I think there's something that you have to factor into your calculation.
Real quickly, I do want to express this, that we all, the city staff, the council, the mayor, all want what's best for Universal City. Oh. But at the same time, we just look at different ways of getting there.
You have to understand when you're dealing with CFOs that work for government institutions, CFOs are doing what the best they can to keep their boss happy, which is a city manager, what her priorities or his priorities are. Okay. Phil is an auditor. Phil's job is to sit on the outside and come into cities, and he's done it all over. He's seen things. I mean, he's like when it comes to finance, he's like a CFO that's worked at 50 plus cities because he's seen all different kinds of ways of doing things. And so when he's arguing, and this is my take, is he's disagreeing with your CFO on the philosophy of what's going on because he's seen it done. The cities that succeed do it a different way than Universal City's planning to do it. And it's hard to, I don't know your CFO at all. This has nothing to do with your city manager or anything. But what Phil is saying, yes, you can do it that way. But I've seen 20 cities that I work with that are even better financially secure. And you said, we have a year, you go run the city a year and stuff. You got to remember that it's not like you're taking money from like a business and running the city like a business. It is, but the taxpayers, the moms and dads, and your people in their 40s and 50s are rocking and rolling in life right now. Their career should be making money, financially smart, mature enough to know what to do with their money, all those things. What it is a teacher that's working at Olympia that's starting at $58,000. Where are they going to live in Universal City, and how much extra they have to pay a month for their property tax bill between the school district, the city, the county, the water bill? So my question is a teacher moves to working for Judson at Olympia Hills, where are they going to live? Where can they find a place to live in a house? And that's the problem. And then you have people, you've been divorced. I've been divorced. You move out. Financially, just it's just a terrible thing, right?
Absolutely.
The money just evaporates. It's incredible. Where are those single moms and dads going to live when they do get divorced, where they can afford the damn property taxes? There's people that are paying $3,500 a year in property taxes, $120 a month in property taxes. What are you getting for your $120 a month? Right? A month. What? And then garbage is 25, and in this kind of stuff. And I'm not picking on Universal City, just property taxes in general.
Yeah.
And
that's why I had a problem, not to get off the track, but that's why I had a problem with the 65 or over thing at the time, because I thought,
well, that and the of course we have breaks, and so other people have to pick it up. But at the same time, if you look at the city, if you talk to cities, and I've talked to people in Cibolo, they've sat at this table. I've talked to people in Schertz, they sat at this table. I've talked to people in Garden Ridge, they sat at this table. People with higher tax rates and lower tax rates. Is there anything in your budget you could cut? Is there anything that you look at and say, well, gee, there's got to be a better way to do that? Do we have to do that, or do we need to hire this person, or whatever? And we trust our city staff. You know, overall, they're doing the best interest, you know, what they think is best for the city. But it's also like, do we need to do those other things? And then the other side of it is increasing retail. Increasing retail collects sales tax, which lowers the property tax rate. So those type of things, property taxes in the state of Texas have gotten so out of control with 5%, 6%, 7% increases, not in the rate and just in the overall appraised value, that people are paying hundreds more a month in some cases for their properties, city property tax bills. The government has had to step in and not allow cities to increase it more than 10% without an election, because it's so out of control. And that tells me when it comes down time to look at, you know, even in Selma, you know, we're down to 18 something now. And I even Johnny, I was like, why can't we do another penny? I mean, what does it matter? You know, where does the money go? Well, you know, we have a good savings account. I'm like, that's the people's money. It does them no good sitting in a savings account. We don't need to have a savings. We need 3 months of operating expense. We don't need to be like the big guys and have 6 months, 8 months, 10 months, whatever. That's the people's money. That's some mom that's getting divorced that had to pay for that. Is their money. Why is it sitting in a bank somewhere? Well, this is just a philosophical conversation. And I think Phil looks at things a lot of the way I do. Yes, you want to have a big safety net. You want to be, responsible. But at the same time, that's the people's money. Why, if you're at some point, you don't have to put any more money in there. And what is that point? It's 3 months, 6 months, whatever it is. There needs to be
we agreed on a year. Yeah. You know, we're by an Air Force base. There's every city is different in what they need to run and what goes on in their city and their emergency their emergency views as far as down the road, what's needed to keep the city not only solvent but keeping the type of services that people are used to getting. So you run it tight, like you said. Homes have increased enormously.
Lack of inventory.
And interest rates have gone up. You can't get anything. You're looking at, if you were doing fantastic, you might get a 5. You're looking at 7 and 8. So now that's dead. I guarantee you, when that comes out and interest rates eventually do come down, the price of housing, as far as the what they're worth, that's not going to go down.
Well, everywhere around us, I think if you looked at your friends and start talking to your friends and really have honest conversations, and you ask them, if you moved out of this house, could you buy this house? Or would that have an impact on your life? And they're like, I don't know if I could afford to live here. True. That's why nobody's buying and selling at the rate they were before, because they can't. It's not a deal anymore. Yeah, interest rates and some of that have to do with it, but property taxes are also tacked on. And because they have doubled in this area, throughout this whole area, it's become such a problem. And I don't know what and I get it, things cost more for the cities and stuff, but 7% this year, 10% last year, 8% the year before. 5-6 years, you double in your dang property tax bill. And it's like, things didn't double. Nope, they didn't double for anybody.
That's true.
So I think that's kind of what, and Phil's fighting, he'll fight for a fraction of a penny. And I love his spirit. Mm-hmm. And I'm not saying Universal, I haven't ever looked deep into Universal City's budget, but I think that's what he's trying to say is, and maybe he's fighting for his own bottom line, his own $100 a year he's trying to save, or $200, but I think, or more. But I think there's a lot of people out there that aren't in the positions that we are. to live the lives we live that are struggling, and I think that property taxes are just killing them. And then if property taxes go up and you own a business, you got to charge a little bit more because your bills are going up.
Right.
Now that said, the state passed the law on the school property tax, which is going to be good. So,
well, a lot of time too, people say, why is this so high? Why is that so high? You guys are just trying to kill Universal City, and it's kind of like, I live in Universal City. I work my ass off. I pay the same taxes and everything else. So
can't afford a new Harley. You got that old piece of junk.
No, I got that old piece of junk, and I'm going to keep that old piece of junk.
All right,
careful with the
but
word
yeah,
junk.
Paul, and I think UC's doing a really good job. I mean, considering where it was 10 years ago, especially with Kim and Mayor Williams have just that city's launching, and especially if you can get the aviation district and that property behind HEB and some of that, you guys are in great shape. So I'm not like picking on Universal City. I'm just saying as a general philosophy, that's what it is. But man, I think you guys keep growing that retail, especially downtown,
right?
That and collect the sales tax.
And that's a fine. Since you bring that up too, that's a fine line. Changing like rezoning, places are coming in, and again. I can't stress enough, we're landlocked. We're almost built out.
Yeah.
So there's a couple sections where we've had some rezoning or the possibility of rezoning where it's been commercial, and now you're changing it to a residential or for apartments or for houses, and you walk that fine line where people say, well, don't do that because if you change it to residential, down the road, you're going to need that commercial space. That's what it's there for. But at the same time, you've got to keep up with the times. The brick and mortar isn't doing what it used to. We've got places, we've got empty spots out there now in some of these small little flash malls here that they're up for lease because we can't. Kind of like you need to get the butts in the seats close to them, so they'll say, "Oh, okay. Well, now there's a community over here. I want to go in there." So you got to ride that fine line because once you get built out, you've got what you got. That's why working on the aviation district where everybody thinks that's kind of for new everything. Not really. We want to bring small business. I mean, we don't have frontage road, so we appreciate and love our small business.
Well, you do on 1604.
Yeah, but trying to get in there is
it's
messing with TxDOT is. I love TxDOT.
Yeah, I do too. Building a lot of good roads for us. So, I guess that's all I have. Unless there's something you want to say, you want to give a shout out to your bride. I think that'd be appropriate. You may want to wave. This is the camera. Just wave and say,
"Love you, Sandy." And as far as Universal City, I have a passion for Universal City. That's the one city I used to go into places where I lived, and it's kind of like I go in the store, I want to go in, I want to get out. But once I started meeting police officers here and made this my home, I had a passion for it. So, and as well as I do, we don't get paid for this position. So I might not do it all right, but I do what I can to keep up on the information, to make sure that whatever decision that I make for the city by listening to people and everything else is the right ones. Have I been happy with all of them? No, but you need to learn, and the next time it comes up, then you make sure you do the right thing. So with that said, like with the tax base, it's kind of like, what? Let's see how this goes this year, because if it's going the way I think it's going to go, there's no way I'm going to vote for any type of increase next year. I think we're in the right pocket as far as that's concerned.
Anyway, over there in Universal City, the government's in both pockets, taking all your money. Yup. All right. Thank you for coming in, Paul.
I appreciate you having me.
Yeah.
I wanted to make it sooner, but I got married, stuff was happening, so
yeah, you got big problems on your hand. I mean, you got wonderful things on your hand.
Wonderful things on my hand.
Hey, I do have one final question.
Yes, sir.
Hey, so if we do a podcast during the election, are you willing to come in and answer some hard questions?
Yeah, absolutely.
You sure?
Absolutely.
All right, we'd love to have you back in.
Okay,
here, man.
great.
All right, thanks, Paul.
All right, thank you.